This is Coach Lee, and I'm going to talk to you about the mind of your ex when you pursue. The first thing you do when you pursue them after they've broken up with you is that you make them feel like you are holding them back. And so what it is that they want this thing. They want this ideal. And in this case, it's being broken up with you. They think that that's the key to their future, to happiness, maybe even to being with someone else. And when you pursue them, when you basically refuse the breakup, what happens is that they feel like you are holding them back. Even if it's not based on reality, even if the future that they would have without you is actually one they don't want, if you hold them back, you create a situation where they feel like they are trying to escape you. They feel like you are imprisoning them, like you're trapping them, you're not letting them be free. And when someone doesn't feel free, the potential is there that they will fight their captor. We see that in societies who rise up against governments, who take things from them, who remove their freedom, who oppress them. And that's the same situation you're creating in the mind of your ex when you pursue them after they've broken up with you. You make it to where the other side of this seems so wonderful and they just can't get there because you won't let them. And so you make them fight against you more. And a lot of times that's not even visible. They just want you to stop being around. They want to be free from you. And you have to give them this because at the moment, that's what they think that they want. So they don't want to be with you. And so the more that you're with them, you're actually putting them in a scenario where you're not attractive because they feel like you're keeping them from getting what they want. That brings me to the second thing that you do when you pursue your ex after they've broken up with you, and that is you delay realization. What I mean by that is that if your ex thinks they will be happier without you and you don't give them that, then they cannot know whether or not that's true or false. And if it's false, you want them to find that out as quickly as possible for your own sake, if you want to get back together with them. And so letting them have it, giving them the breakup, allows them to experience the world without you as soon as possible. It gives them the real world instead of just this picture they have in their mind where they're without you and things are wonderful. You don't want them to have that. So give them the breakup because usually it's not nearly as good as they think it's going to be, or it's not what they want. Unless, of course, you're just very difficult, you argue a lot, you're mean, you're cruel, and a healthy person would want to be away from you. In which case, we're talking about a different story in a different video. But if you two have had a good relationship, you've been good to them, you have not demanded to be worshiped, and you have not worshiped them, but it's been something that's been equal, where both of you allow the other to feel wanted, desired, and needed by the other person, then you were probably in a good relationship, and this person has just lost sight of that. And so by taking yourself out of the picture, letting them experience this perception they have to see if it's real is actually your best bet, because they need to see that realization. And when you pursue them after they've broken up with you, you are preventing and delaying them from seeing and realizing what it's like to be without you. And you should bet on that. If you think you're a good girlfriend, if you think you're a good boyfriend, then show him, show her that when you leave the situation, when you back away, it's actually worse. It's actually not what they want. Sometimes people have to learn that, even good people. And I know that the idea is, well, I want someone who would never have left me in the first place. And I totally get that. And this person can become that. But sometimes all of us as imperfect human beings lose sight of that. And so giving them some grace, giving them some time to see if they figure this out can actually be a great thing, because sometimes people learn from this. And a lot of times they become a much better partner because they learn from their mistakes. And so allow that to be a possibility. Stay away, give them the breakup. The third thing you do when you pursue someone after they've broken up with you is that you lower your value. Because basically the universal rule, the universal law of supply and demand is that when something is easy to get, when there's just a whole lot of it, it's not very valuable. That's why diamonds are expensive and dirt is cheap. That's why the services of a doctor cost more than just someone to cut your grass. It's because the skill is something that is rare. It takes time, it takes effort and work. And so not everyone's willing to do it, and not everyone has time to do it. And so we pay the person who cuts us open to save our lives more than we do the person who cuts our grass. The same is true in a relationship, in that if you are easy and simple and there, then you are not extremely valuable. And this is only true in terms of the breakup. If you are in a relationship with someone, then you're building intimacy and you are building stories and inside jokes and important things. And so not just the quality, but the quantity is important. But what happens is when someone loses sight of your value, that's when the situation becomes in jeopardy and you cannot lower your value even more. Because if anything, it re-emphasizes that they don't want to be with you because you're here. They don't want you to be here. You're annoying them. You feel like a stalker to them. They want you to be gone and you won't be gone. And so in their mind, it's like, yes, I do want this breakup. This is showing me that I want this because when they're around me, I don't want them here. And so if that ever happens, like in the case of a breakup, they say they don't want you in their life. You cannot be in their life because you only show them that they don't want you in their life. And as much as we know, it's fake because it's only conceptual. They have to actually experience being without you. And so when you refuse to back off and give them the breakup and you pursue, you lower your value. You're not that big of a deal. You're not very important to them because, first of all, you're there even when they don't want you to be. Secondly, because it tells them that if they ever change their mind, that they can just get you back. You're just a text away and you'll come running like a little puppy dog. And what we want them to see is that you can stay away from them, that you're strong enough to do that, because that allows them to at least entertain the idea and have the idea and the concept that you could move on, you could leave, you could stay away forever. And that's where they can experience a true breakup. So much of this revolves around ensuring that your ex gets a real breakup and not an assisted breakup where you're by their side making it easy for them. So when you pursue after a breakup, you're lowering your own value, which certainly doesn't make you attractive in terms of your ex saying, I want to get back together with this person. You need to back away. Let them see what it's like to be without you so that your value can actually go back up. The fourth thing you do when you pursue after someone has broken up with you is that you create an additional hurdle to them getting back together with you. And so there's already what they perceive as having gone wrong in the relationship, as something that they need to do for themselves in terms of breaking up with you and moving on into this other future. And so they have to think through those things already to get back together with you. That's something that can be overcome and often is. But when you pursue them after they've broken up with you and you don't give them the breakup, you create another hurdle. And that hurdle is this. They think, maybe I do want to get back together with them, but I better be really sure. I better sit on this. I better wait. I better delay, because if I get back together with them and I realize that's the wrong thing, I actually did want the breakup, I have to break up with them again and experience all this drama and their stalking and their begging and whatever else it is again. And so they think maybe I should just stay put because it's going to at least start getting better. Hopefully I've ripped off the Band-Aid. I don't want to have to go through this again. And you don't want to create an additional hurdle. It's just like in the world of sales. The fewer things that your client or potential client has to do to become a client or to buy something from you, the better. When you start putting hurdles, more things can go wrong. It becomes more difficult for them and less likely you'll make the sale. And since most of life is based on selling something, getting someone else to want something, then getting your ex to want you certainly would not involve adding more hurdles to this. So you don't want to make it to where your ex thinks that if they do take that risk, if they do get back together with you again, but change their mind, that they have to go through a bunch of misery. Let them feel like there's fewer things to have to consider except what is really important, which is, do they want to be with you? Do they experience your absence and feel that it's a negative and realize your place in their life? That should be what it's all about, not them having to worry about having to go through a lot of drama and difficulty with you if they had to break up with you again. So just don't even put that in their mind. Do your best. Even if you think, oh, I've already blown it, I've already begged and pleaded and I won't go away and I've even gotten angry in front of them and I pestered them, the best thing you can do is to stop now, to back off now, because you will only keep digging that hole even deeper and make it into a canyon. Stay back. Stop. Before I mention the fifth tip, be sure to subscribe to this channel so you can be notified when I have more videos like this that can help you get an ex back or strengthen a relationship. All right, now for the fifth thing that you do when you pursue your ex after they've broken up with you. And I'm going to give a bonus tip at the end of this that can help you in this situation. So after this tip, be sure to stick around for the bonus. But what you do when you pursue an ex after they've broken up with you is that you teach them that you will fix what they have broken. And why that's a problem is that they will perhaps think, maybe I do want to get back with them. But then the question is, what do I do? Well, he's been pursuing me even after I broke up with him, or she's been pursuing me even after I broke up with her. So I guess I'll just wait. In a few days, I'm sure I'll hear from them and they can just ask me again if I want to get back together. They can do all that and they can just kind of take care of it. And I don't have to risk anything. I don't have to deal with any of putting myself out there and thinking that maybe it could go wrong. I don't have to do any of that. They'll just come to me and they'll take care of it. They'll fix what I broke. And that's not a good thing because any parent knows you have to let your child experience the consequences of their actions or they don't learn from them. And they start thinking they can just do whatever and someone else will fix it. Someone else will provide an answer. And that's not a good thing. It also keeps your value really low because they just assume they can treat you however, they can do whatever to you, and you'll just keep coming wanting more of them and more of their mistreatment. So it's not a good thing at all. It will make it less likely that your ex will get back together with you. So do not pursue. Now for that bonus tip that I mentioned, and I talk about this in my emergency breakup kit, but it is that you should see yourself not as the worshiper and not as the worshipped, but that you want to be in a relationship where it's equal. So you want to be with someone who wants to be with you just as much. And if you see it that way, and you see it as, if that's not the case, I don't want to be in this. I'm at least going to wait until they figure this out. Then you will be way ahead of the game, so to speak, even though really this is just a mature response. This is what you do when you are a strong, attractive person who understands how adult relationships work. You want to be in a relationship with someone who wants to be with you just as badly. And when you are determined to have that or back off and walk away, then that's usually what you will end up getting. This has been Coach Lee, and as always, thank you for watching.